Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting. Thank you for coming. My name is Chris Little. I am the chair for the Sacramento County Local Agency Formation Commission, also known as LAFCo. Commissioners are locally elected officials who are designated by their respective home agencies to serve on LAFCo. Our role is to oversee boundary changes of cities and special districts, formation of new agencies, including the incorporation of new cities and districts, and the consolidation or reorganization of special districts and or cities. Our meetings are always open to the public. Regularly scheduled meetings are shown live on Metro Cable 14, webcast live on the Metro Cable TV website, and posted on the county's website. Comments are welcome. Please complete a speaker slip and return it to the county clerk. Time will be limited to 2 minutes per person. To keep the meeting timely, we ask that you address your comments or questions to the commission. Thank you. Why don't we have our commissioners introduce themselves, since we have a new commissioner here. Oh, we'll take roll call.
May I take roll call? Mr. Chair, Commissioners Pluckybaum, Wichert.
It's Wickert, but yes, I'm here.
Wickert, Desmond, here. Pratton,
here.
Jones, here, and Chair Little.
Here.
You have a quorum with the members present.
Okay, thank you. All right, can we please stand for the pledge?
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That was a very robust pledge. So we have a new commissioner, and I'd like to ask him to stand up, please, and raise your right hand, please.
I, Robert Wickert,
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
that I take this obligation freely without any purpose of evasion or mental reservation.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you much.
Okay, do we have any announcements?
Yes, we do. Mr. Chair, this meeting of the Sacramento Local Agency Formation Commission is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the Local Government Affairs Channel on the Comcast and DirecTV U-verse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Sunday, March 8th at 2 p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. The Sacramento Local Agency Formation Commission fosters public engagement during the meeting and encourages public participation, civility, and use of courteous language. The board does not condone the use of profanity, vulgar language, gestures, or other inappropriate behavior, including personal attacks or threats directed towards any meeting participant. Each speaker will be given 2 minutes to make a public comment and are limited to making one comment per agenda or off-agenda item. Please be mindful of the public comment procedures to avoid being interrupted or disconnected while making your comment. To make a comment in person, please fill out a speaker request form and hand it to your clerk staff. The chairperson will open public comments for each agenda or off-agenda item and direct the clerk to call the name of each speaker. When the clerk calls your name, please come to the podium and make your comment. If a speaker is unavailable to make a comment prior to the closing of public comments, the speaker waives their request to speak and the clerk will file the speaker request form in the record. The clerk will manage the timer and allow each speaker 2 minutes to make a comment. You may send written comments by email to boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. If you need an accommodation pursuant to the Americans with Disabilities Act or for medical or other reasons, please see clerk staff for assistance or contact the clerk's office at 916-874-5451 or by email at boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Thank you in advance for your courtesy and understanding of the meeting procedures. This concludes your announcement.
Thank you. Please read the first item.
The next item, item 2, is the public is encouraged to address the commission concerning any matter not on the agenda. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. The commission is prohibited from discussing or taking any action on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. We do have one speaker, Mr. William Cho.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners, Supervisor Desmond. I think perhaps I should have chosen another night to address the Commission in deference to the Labor Group and Mayor Fargo. I'm William Cho, serving on the Arden Manor Park District Board, and in a reference to your Special District Committee and its commissioners, who are typically filled by my counterparts at Fire, Water, and other special districts. Though I believe parks are just as important to our communities. While we're all special districts, we're not all the same. We have different challenges, different and unique challenges, and I'm here to make an introduction and invite some conversations to talk about our unique issues and also how to address the common issues that we all share that don't stop at lines on a map. So it's easy to think about government policy in our own little bubbles, but we can't and we don't operate in silos, and we can't be as effective if we are. So I look forward to some good conversations with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we do not have any other public speakers or speaker slips for item number 2.
Okay. So next item.
The next item is the consent calendar to approve items 3 through 7.
Mr. Chair, I move consent.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
No. Please vote. Your vote passes unanimously 6-0.
Thank you. The next item, please.
The next item is item 8, public hearing to consider and approve the environmental review and the Airport South Industrial Reorganization for the detachment from Natomas Fire Protection District, Sacramento County Water Agency Zone 13, and County Service Area 1, and annexation into the City of Sacramento and Sacramento Area Sewer District.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, my name is Jose Enriquez. I'm the Executive Officer for Sacramento LAFCo, and I have a brief presentation for your consideration in addition to the staff report that's already part of your packet. First, a background for those who are not familiar with what LAFCo does. LAFCo was created as a result of a significant amount of population growth that occurred post-World War II, and in addition to haphazard extension of services that were being pursued by local agencies as a result of the population growth. And in addition, there was also a conspicuous effort by agencies to exclude disadvantaged or minority populated communities. Governor Pat Brown convened a commission to basically look at this phenomena, thinking that there's got to be a more orderly way to do this. And so LAFCos were created in 1963 to provide regional growth management in each county with 4 missions in no particular order: to encourage orderly urban growth and development, to prevent urban sprawl, leapfrog development, and scattered urbanization, to encourage local formation and determination of boundaries, to coordinate property development standards and encourage timely urbanization, to ensure that affected populations receive adequate and efficient governmental services, and to guide development away from open space and prime agricultural land uses. Those are your 4 missions. They are not in any particular order. For folks who are wishing to read more about it, it's under Government Code 56,000, and at Sequitur, I believe it's 56,001. But LAFCO is a hybrid entity, meaning that you are a state agency, but with local representation. By the nature of your composition of cities, special districts, county, and a public member, the legislature essentially has determined that you are not in conflict should you be considering a project that affects your home agency. As a LAFCO commissioner, you're expected to act independently and take into account what the government code requires and advises you to follow. So this particular project is a 472.4-acre project located in undeveloped agricultural land. It is currently within the boundaries of the the county of Sacramento, outside of the county's urban services boundary line, and outside of the urban policy area. The site is bound to the north by I-5, to the east by the city of Sacramento, to the west by Powerline Road. South of the project area is the Paso Verde K-8 school and additional agricultural land that is in Sacramento County. The project site is located within the sphere of influence for the city of Sacramento and SacSewer, approved by the Commission on May 7th, 2025. The reorganization includes essentially a change of jurisdictional boundaries to facilitate future development and the provision of municipal services. The reorganization, for folks in the audience who may not know, it essentially means 2 or more changes of organization contained within a single proposal. In this specific case, you have three separate actions. First action is the annexation of the project site into the city of Sacramento's jurisdictional boundaries for the provision of municipal services, including water, law enforcement, fire suppression, parks, and street lighting. Number 2, the annexation of the project area into the Sacramento Area Sewer District for wastewater services. And number 3, the detachment of the project area from various agencies such as the Thomas Fire Protection District, Sacramento County Water Agency Zone 13, and a County Service Area 1. This is an aerial photograph of the project site. It is bounded by white on the photograph that you have in here. Essentially, again, to the north is I-5, but beyond I-5, you have the Metro Air Park industrial commercial area. To the northeast is the North Lake, formerly Greenbrier development. To the west is Westlake. To the east is Westlake. To the south is the Paso Verde School, which you can see sort of in that photograph. It's that little white fuzzy area to the southeast. Agricultural land immediately to the south. To the west is currently agricultural. However, the site is going to be the new Watt EV SWIFT project approved by the County of Sacramento, which will be a recharging station for commercial truck vehicles. This is a proposed site plan for the project. This is not within your decision point. This is for the county, but it's shown as for illustrative purposes, so you know ultimately what the development is going to be. It's going to be essentially south of the Metro Air Parkway. There'll be hotels and warehouses of various square footage. Smallest one being about 562,000 square feet. The largest one is is 1.021 square feet. And then you have smaller warehouses to the east, and then as a concession to residents, there's smaller buildings immediately adjacent to the Westlake development. There will be a buffer area that's already there of agricultural land. I believe there's going to be additional buffer area. And that gray area that's to the southeast of the parcels in between the warehouses is what's called the non-participatory parcels, meaning these are landowners who are generally supportive of the annexation. However, they are not part of the development plan, but they are included as part of this reorganization in order to make an orderly boundary. This is an area, again, of the project site, this time with zoning included. Again, you have the Metro Air Park to the north, the North Lake and West Lake communities, and then the South Wad EV to the west. So the project background is that on May 25th, 2021, an application for the SOI amendment was submitted to, of the SOI amendments, I should say, because it was for the city and Sac-Sur, were submitted to Sacramento LAFCo. A municipal service review and a sphere of influence amendments were approved by LAFCo on May 7th, 2025. The reorganization application under consideration tonight was submitted to LAFCo on November 26, 2025. The City of Sacramento certified the final environmental impact report and adopted a mitigation monitoring and reporting program on December 2nd, 2025. For LAFCO considerations, basically, they're all encompassed under 56-668 of the Government Code, and your also LAFCO policies. Those are discussed in your staff report and also included as Attachment A to your staff report. Essentially, that Government Code section and the policies require that the Commission review specified factors when considering a reorganization proposal. And for those who are not familiar with LAFCO, essentially the four missions that I outlined earlier, those are included in 56-668 in a way that it's basically broken down as a way for the Commission to consider the four missions as part of each proposal. And in addition, the Commission then further adopted policies to further define what's already in the Government Code. And the Government Code allows for the commissions to have specific policies relating to how they're going to implement the Government Code. So these factors are used to analyze the impacts and help assess the determinations for the recommendations. They included services, cost and revenue, boundaries, potential effect on others, and comments from stakeholders, land use, population, and planning. For the service area here, the project site requires the extension of urban services to support the planned industrial site. The adopted targeted municipal service review identified and analyzed the municipal services that would be needed to extend, and specifically the water service, circulation, roadways, the animal care, code compliance, law enforcement, fire protection, solid waste, storm drainage and flood control, parks and recreation, and libraries. Costs and revenues. Property tax exchange agreements pursuant to Revenue and Taxation Code 99 and Government Code Section 56810. Property tax exchange agreement is required in connection to the proposed reorganization. The exchange reallocates property tax revenues among the affected local agencies to reflect the change in service responsibility resulting from the annexation into the City of Sacramento and the Sacramento Area Sewer District. The Sacramento City Council adopted a resolution on December 9th, 2025, authorizing the city manager to enter into the agreement, and the Sacramento Board of Supervisors approved and authorized the county executive to execute and administer the agreement on January 13th, 2026. So the boundaries. The project site is within the sphere of influence for both the city and Sac-Sur. The annexation of the site represents, in staff's opinion, a logical contiguous extension of city limits. The project site share points of adjacency with the existing city boundary, which is a requirement under the law, and it avoids unincorporated pockets or irregular islands. To the left of the picture, you will see the Airport South Industrial Area as it relates to the city of Sacramento. It's an extension to the west, and for the Sac-Sur service area, to the picture to the right, you will see that it adjoins the Sac-Sur service area on two fronts. The adjacent areas, both the city and the county anticipate expanded industrial and commercial development in the project area and in the area surrounding the Sacramento International Airport. Community services, the project is not expected to result in significant adverse effects on community services for existing customers of either entities, the City of Sacramento or Sac Sewer. In comments and/or objections from other agencies and the landowners, LAFCo and the City of Sacramento have received lawsuits by 3 environmental advocacy organizations relating to the sphere of influence amendment that you authorized last May, and the entitlements of land use by the City of Sacramento that they approved in December. See, the proposed project will lead to an overall loss of farmland. Mitigation measures were to include the applicant area purchasing and dedicating the Rosa properties to the Natomas Basin Conservancy. The pre-zone of the project area was approved by the City of Sacramento on December 2nd, 2025. Pre-zoning is also a requirement under the law, so that's been in compliance with that requirement. For the Environmental Quality Act, the LAFCo and the City of Sacramento cooperated to prepare an environmental impact report pursuant to the agreement as described in Section 15051D of the CEQA guidelines. The EIR was certified, and a mitigation monitoring and reporting program was adopted by the City of Sacramento on December 2nd, 2025. 2 errata sheets have been prepared to implement minor administrative edits and clarifications to the final EIR. The errata sheets do not affect the adequacy of the environmental analysis or the findings made by LAFCO to support its certification, which are part of the final EIR. I'm going to speak briefly to the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan because that's an area that's been brought up by both project opponents and supporters. The conservation plan was designed to protect endangered species and their habitats within the Natomas Basin. It is a shared effort of various agencies to balance the development of urban areas within the with the preservation of natural ecosystems. And the mitigation requires the preservation of off-site farmland at a ratio of 1 farmland acre converted to urban land uses outside of the NBHCP policy area to 0.5 acre preserved, which combined the biological resources mitigation results in an overall presentation at a 1-to-1 ratio. The map that you see in the area is essentially the Thomas Conservation Habitat Plan area, and it expands basically from it goes along the Sacramento River, north of the American River, through the Sacramento County line, up to Sutter. Up to Sutter County. The dark areas, I believe, are preservation lands that have been put away in mitigation preservation for the habitat for Natomas. Waiver of the conducting authority hearing. Typically, when you have a 100% landowner consent, you waive the conducting authority hearing. What that is essentially a protest hearing for landowners or registered voters, if the area is inhabited, to protest the commission action should you approve this project. The conducting authority hearing can be waived if you have 100% landowner consent. To date, we have not received any opposition from any of the landowners. And so the notice was published both on the website, on the newspaper, and physically at our office, basically saying that the commission can waive the conducting authority hearing under 663C if no written opposition is submitted by the landowners of the petition site by the time that the commission closes the public hearing. To date, staff has not received a written opposition by a landowner or the project site, so LAFCO staff recommends the waiver of the authority hearing, since the only people who can protest the commission action are registered voters or landowners of the project site, and no one else. Project determinations, bear with me, this is a long slide. The subject territory is inhabited per government code, uninhabited, sorry, Per Government Code 56079.5, the application of this project is made subject to Government Code 56650 et sequitur by landowner petition. The territory proposed for the project is within the spheres of influence for the City of Sacramento and the Sacramento Area Sewer District and is contiguous to the existing boundary. The project will provide more logical and ordered boundaries for both agencies. The project will not result in negative impacts to the cost and adequacy of service otherwise provided into the area and is in the best interest of the affected area and the total organization of the local government agencies involved. The project will have an effect on agriculture and open space lands, but impacts will be mitigated as required by CEQA and implemented by the certified EIR and the mitigation monitoring reporting plan. The project will not result in the decrease in water supply available for the build-out of regional housing needs determined by the Sacramento Area Council of Governments and will not have a significant foreseeable effect on the ability of the county or the city to adequately accommodate its fair share of those housing needs. So the recommendations will be to waive the protest hearings pursuant to 56663 and local policies, adopt LAFCo Resolution LAFC 2026-04, adding any additional conditions the Commission finds appropriate, and approve the Airport South industrial reorganization, direct the Executive Officer to complete the necessary filings and transmittals as required by law, and determine the effective date of the approval for this action to be 5 working days after the recordation of the county recorder of the Executive Officer's certificate of completion, provided that the imposed conditions are met. The recommended process for providing comments on this item, staff presents the staff report, which we just did. The commissioner questions and comments to staff. The applicant representative, if so desired, speaks, followed by commissioner questions. The agency representative from the City of Sacramento, if so desired, speaks, followed by the commissioner questions. And then all other members from the public who would like to speak will have 2 minutes. That concludes the report. I wanted to add a huge thank you to your policy analyst, Christy Grabo, who was very key in the preparation of this item. And my thanks, sincere thanks, go to her for being able to complete the project. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? You don't have to have one.
Right. Mr. Chair, I don't have any questions at this time, but I think all of us reserve the right to be able to ask questions of staff as more information comes forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, given that my recommendation would be to allow the applicant to speak and address the commission if they so desire.
Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Nick Abdis on behalf of AKT Development this evening. We have a presentation to provide you. Can we get that on the screen?
So much for paying her cable bill.
Metro Cable, could we get the PowerPoint up, please? Give us just a moment.
No Jeopardy music right now.
Can I ask you, Madam Clerk, is this the clicker up here for the?
No, we have a clicker here for you. Make sure it's working for you.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Copy of it back there. Do you have either a paper copy or the ability to send a copy? Like, does somebody have it on a phone? They can email it.
Staff has it, should have it. Do you have it in,
It was sent. It was sent
you
to
want
me.
to grab it?
Metro got it. They said they received it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we
look
sent
at
it, we sent it to you, we sent it to you. Christie acknowledged.
Metro Cable.
What time is that? We're
Let
looking.
me see. It was the other day. Hold on.
Sorry. Can we email it to you? We got it up here.
Went to Christina last Thursday.
Yeah, but forward it on.
And it's Metro 14.
They have it.
That's county.gov.
It was.
You know, add me too, just in case.
Yeah.
Sturmer, S-T-E-R-M-E-R.
Todd, I can just handle it from here.
Is there now?
Oh, there we go. There it is. That's right there.
You have it?
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw it. Sorry, I thought I saw it.
Are you switching it? I think they're trying to set it up in the back as I set it up here.
Metro.
Let's see if I can just start it.
And we just sent it to.
What's that? On the last Thursday, 26th.
to Jose, I guess.
Yeah.
Metro, could we get assistance outside, please? Mr. Chair, may we call a brief recess while we fix the technical difficulties, please?
Yes, that would be.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for your patience. 5 minutes, I think, to get this done.
Have it called up.
Hello? Quiet, please. Shh. It works. Okay. Thank you. We are back now with our presentation, please.
All right. Well,
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, may I call roll to reestablish a quorum, please? Commissioners Pluckybaum? Wickard?
Here.
Desmond? Here. Pratton?
Here.
Jones? Here. And Chair Little?
Here.
You have a quorum with the members present. Now you may continue your presentation.
thank you, Madam Chair. All right, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, thanks again, and thanks to the Metro Cable folks. Kind of a thankless job. We appreciate it. Technical difficulties happen. In any event, my name is Nick Abdis. I'm with the law offices of Abdis and Cushi on behalf of AKT Development this evening. Thanks for the opportunity to present our project to you. This is an effort shaped by nearly 5 years of detailed planning, technical analysis, and sustained community engagement. We're excited to finally be here before you today. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge the collaborative effort that's brought us to this point. Large, complex development projects like Airport South naturally and justifiably generate discussions and differing viewpoints, but they also reflect a tremendous amount of professional work, and we're grateful for the dedication showed by everyone involved, including your staff. I'd also like to take a moment on this next slide to recognize our project team. Their commitment, depth of experience, and attention to detail have been instrumental in shaping this proposal. Many of these professionals in their respective teams are here this evening and stand ready to in responding to any questions you may have. Collectively, we bring decades of land use, engineering, environmental, and planning expertise to this project. This next slide is important because it frames the scope of tonight's action. I know staff covered this a little bit, but I think I want to highlight just a few things. Distilling it down, LAFCo's role is very limited and focused. This proceeding is about boundaries, service responsibility, and orderly growth. It's not a rehearing on land use entitlements, site design, or approvals already granted by this body and by the city of Sacramento. Second, the Airport South territory is entirely within the city of Sacramento's adopted sphere of influence, reflecting prior LAFCo policy determinations about the appropriate area for future municipal services. Third, the action before you today is implementation focused. It aligns jurisdiction with municipal services and implements the planning and infrastructure framework already adopted by this body previously, and the city of Sacramento's approval of the land use entitlements, including their certification of the EIR. With that framing, I'd like to introduce AKT Development's development partner and North Point Development, represented here this evening by Jeff Griffin.
Thank you, Nick. Good evening, Chair Little and LAFCo commissioners. It's good to see you all again. I'm excited to be here tonight, so thank you for the time. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to introduce our firm and discuss our proposed project, which has been a work in progress for the past 5 years. I'm hoping tonight brings it to conclusion. As Nick said, I'm Jeff Griffin, the West Region partner with North Point Development. North Point Development is a privately held real estate operating company headquartered in Kansas City, founded in 2012 by Nathaniel Hagedorn, our CEO. Personally, I am a Sacramento native, born in Woodland, and joined North Point Development in 2018 and opened our Northern California office here in the Sacramento market after spending 16 years with another local industrial development firm, learning the industrial sector trade. Our firm specializes in industrial and multifamily developments, and our current national portfolio consists of roughly 153 million square feet of Class A industrial space and 6,500 multifamily units. We have 9 offices across the country and employ roughly 400 development staff. Our developments span 27 states and have helped create a home for over 110,000 jobs nationwide, the single biggest fact on this slide that I'm most proud of. This slide also shows a representation of some of our national clients, several of which are Fortune 50 companies. Additionally, we show many of the charitable organizations that we help support nationally and here locally. In the Sacramento community, we have developed over 5 million square feet of industrial space. Approximately 4 million square feet is in the Natomas community at Metro Air Park. In 2018, we started our local developments within the Southport Business Park of West Sacramento, a 3-building project across 60 acres. Then in 2019, we acquired our first land site and commenced our first Metro Air Park project, and have gone on to develop 7 assets within the park over the past 5+ years across 245 acres. Additionally, in 2021, we purchased roughly 100 acres from Aerojet in the Rancho Cordova community and have redeveloped that property into 2 assets with an additional 30 acres to develop. Locally, our projects represent an approximate $700 million investment in the community while helping create over 3,000 long-term jobs, not to mention thousands of construction jobs that support the development of our projects. This job creation is accomplished through teamwork, working closely with municipalities, capital partners, and the contracting industry, in addition to, and most importantly, the ultimate user. I think it's worth noting that North Point Development is different than most other national development firms because our business model is to own projects long-term, in contrast to many other national firms that develop, stabilize their assets, and typically dispose of them to institutional investment firms that have mostly no community presence. We've been part of the Sacramento community since 2018 and plan to be here for a very long time. On this next slide, we wanted to highlight more closely the build-out that has occurred within the Metro Air Park over the past 7 years. Excuse me. I wanted to take time first to provide a brief overview of the Airport South area of Sacramento and its build-out over the last 10 years. This is conclusive evidence of the tremendous growth occurring in this northwest corner of Sacramento and why this annexation request aligns with and supports orderly and logical growth for the community. This slide is an aerial from 2015. Note there is limited development around the airport, no interchange at I-5 and Metro Air Parkway, and no assets at Metro Air Park. Fast forward 10 years and you see the extensive development which has occurred. Now there is a new interchange at Metro Air Parkway, a $30 million piece of infrastructure which opened in 2021 to serve the logistics functions of Metro Air Park. The North Lake residential community, which is now mostly complete. And Metro Air Park now is the home to 29 developed assets totaling almost 10 million square feet of Class A industrial space. Also, Costco has recently commenced construction on their 92-acre site. I wanted to highlight this as an example of how much land is absorbed with a single 1 million square foot facility. It's without a doubt that Metro Air Park has become a premier logistics location due to its proximity to I-5 and the I-8 interchange, so goods can be moved efficiently north, south, and east-west across the country. Additionally, it has become a county economic engine generating well over $20 million annually in property taxes and assessments, not including the tens of millions of dollars of annual taxes generated from the Bradley Burns local point-of-sale sales tax. Now we're on to this slide. We wanted to highlight more closely the build-out that's occurred over the last 7 years at Metro Air Park. Remember, this is 10 years ago. And this colored overlay provides you with an image of what is currently developed, the years each asset was developed, and the remaining to-be-developed buildings at Metro Air Park represented by the navy blue boxes. Currently, the industrial zone districts within Metro Air Park are at 76% build-out. It's important to recognize how there are no sites showing a conceptual 1 million square foot logistics facility, and most of the to-be-developed properties will be less than 300,000 square feet, which is far different than what is conceptualized by our Airport South land plan, which Nick will touch on momentarily. On this slide, we wanted to highlight the International Airport Plan Development property, boundary overlaid in red, Sacramento County's Metro Air Park overlaid in blue, the proposed Airport South project boundary. Note the $30 million interchange dumps directly into the project area, the North Lake subdivision, and the aforementioned Watt EV project location, which will assist in providing needed infrastructure to a future of CARB-compliant electric truck fleets. For all of these reasons, we believe our proposed annexation request should be approved. In addition, our team believes our vision is the appropriate use of this land, considering its proximity to housing, for jobs, to reduce vehicles mile traveled, as well as being situated under the FAA's flight path, and most importantly, the lack of large entitled sites to meet the large-scale requirements which continue to land in Sacramento, most recently the Costco Distribution Center. Now I'll hand it back to Nick. Thank you again for your time.
All right, just have a few more slides to work through. So I think this next slide is intended to convey, this is our initial site plan that we submitted in 2021 that became the basis for the environmental analysis in the EIR. This next slide breaks down the extensive amount of outreach and transparent nature that, in terms of how we approached soliciting stakeholder feedback in an effort to steer our project to a final vision. This next slide represents the changes that were made, taking into account the comments and feedback we received with over 5 years of outreach. And primarily the changes are within the easternmost part of the project area. We are committed to the ongoing outreach and dialogue with our community, and to that point we have voluntarily agreed to further outreach during the construction and development phase of our project as an enforceable condition of approval with our city entitlements. Zooming in there to the east end of the project site, you will see represented here, that we reduced the scale and voluntarily restricted the height of the buildings that are in closest proximity to the Westlake community, designing much smaller buildings, and in turn, these types of assets could house community amenities such as bound houses, kids' play zones, residential service providers such as electricians, plumbers, et cetera, which was requested on multiple occasions by the community representatives during our outreach efforts. In addition, these types of assets could be utilized for R&D as well as light assembly facilities similar to those with a local Nivagen project on Duckhorn, not too far away. Furthermore, we relocated the north-south connector road further away from the residential community as was requested, and we designed a roundabout to direct truck trips towards the I-5 interchange while additionally slowing down vehicular traffic moving eastbound to the residential community that we heard on many occasions was an ongoing concern. Additionally, we have provided for we've provided for in our plan unit development approval where we voluntarily imposed a 125-foot setback on the easternmost portion of the project, which will place any vertical assets some 340 feet from the LAFCo properties, which is that single-loaded street that you see next to the city-owned buffer there in that exhibit. And just to put that into context, that's larger than a football field. Slide 14, again, this is our closing slide in terms of LAFCo. This annexation supports orderly growth. As we talked about, the project has been refined substantially through years of outreach and responsiveness. And most importantly for tonight, the site lies within the city's adopted sphere of influence area, and as such, implements prior city and LAFCo policy decisions regarding future urban service provision to this area. And before I conclude, I do want to take a moment to thank the men and women of labor. I'll give you a guess as to who they are here tonight. I want to extend my deep, deep gratitude. I mean, a lot of what I do sometimes feels like pushing paper. You know, these people are going to build this project. They're committed to their families, they're committed to their work, and they're committed to making this project something we can all be proud of. So with that, we appreciate this opportunity to present this item, and we ask for your support of the staff recommendation, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you both. Anyone have any questions for them?
Thank you for the presentation. I appreciate it, gentlemen. A couple quick questions. Somewhere in my staff packet, my agenda packet, there was a picture of the buffer land to the southeast, and I didn't see that represented in these slides. Could you please elaborate?
The southeast?
Yes.
So if you see on, let's see.
I see at one level of green, but that looks like what it was a while ago. And what I saw in my, forgive me, I might have noted the page. However, it was like a backwards L. There was a U shape.
That's on the non-participating owner's property, which isn't represented here. It's just south of.
Yeah, there's an exhibit in your staff report. Let me see if this pointer works. That shows an open space ag zoned area along here. Mm-hmm. That was something that, right around here. Yes, and that was supposed to represent a buffer in response to concerns about the closeness of potential industrial uses to the southeast of the project area, including the school that's there.
No, thank you for that clarification. Then I might have a quick question for staff that as well as the Rosa properties that were mentioned in the staff report. What is the status now of those areas? Because in this, it says that that's supposed to be set aside, et cetera, et cetera. And I'd like to know what their status is today.
I think Mr. Atlas can describe what the status is of the Rosa properties, but he pointed he pointed to the properties that would be used for mitigation as a result of this project, which would be this area delineated there by the red dot. Essentially, you have a square. If you picture Airport South to the southwest corner, the parcel's immediately south become the mitigation for both habitat and agricultural.
Is that a done deal?
Well, we've purchased the property and we own the fee interest. And, if this project is approved, we will donate that property to the Conservancy.
I don't mean to be too abrupt or whatever. I'm looking for the guarantees that this is going to happen. Is there a contract? Is there an MOU or some agreement?
Condition of approval in it's in our mitigation measure in the EIR.
Okay.
Yes, it's enforceable. We will not be able to grade unless we satisfy the commitments we have made in this project.
And that includes the non-participating property to the east
So
and
the
south?
non-participants don't have any entitlements other than being annexed into the city. They will have to process their approvals through the city when they have a proposal for the project.
Okay, so that's another issue. But within the rows of properties, that is part of this whole package. Affirm?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
In the CEQA, there was a mitigation that a sound wall be added. Is that still in the project?
I think Rod might speak.
Yeah,
It's on the non-participating owner's property.
Yeah, I believe the sound wall is on the non-participating owner's property. If I may ask Rod Stinson from Rainey Environmental, who actually prepared the EIR, to comment on this point, not to put you on the spot, Mr. Stinson.
And again, the only reason I'm asking is because you didn't mention it, and you mentioned the other, or at least a couple other mitigations, so I was curious if that was still in the project.
Yeah, so we processed programmatic approvals for the non-participants, and by virtue of that, there are mitigation measures that would apply in the future to uses on those properties. So that's what you saw.
Good evening, Chair. Rod Stinson, Rainey Planning and Management. We prepared the EIR. The requirements, the mitigation requirements that you're referring to from the noise study, those are all still part of requirements for the project. So any future development that has an area where there is a requirement for that sound wall, it'll be required to be analyzed or included in the improvement plans.
So that's still, it's still in
a
the planning.
requirement.
That's fine,
right.
thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay.
Mr. Chair, if we could invite a representative from the city if they wish to address the commission.
Good evening, LAFCo commissioners. My name is Cheryl Hodge. I am the City of Sacramento's new growth manager with the Community Development Department. I am also the manager for the city's compliance and implementation of the city's Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan. This evening, you'll be considering the annexation of the Airport South Industrial Project, which we refer to as the ASI project. The proposed annexation has been through a comprehensive process consisting of extensive environmental studies, coordination with numerous public agencies, as well as significant public review and input. This has been a collaborative, objective, and transparent process. After careful consideration, the City Council on December 2nd, 2025, approved the ASI project. The city's approval comes with over 120 project conditions of approval, numerous mitigation measures, modifications to the future development, including, for example, building height limitations, increased setback buffers, limitations on uses, transportation circulation improvements, all of which are responsive and reflective of public input, LAFCO's held hearings and action on the SOIA, as well as the city's Planning and Design Commission and City Council. Tonight, your commission will consider the annexation aspect itself. The proposed annexation will provide for a logical boundary, orderly development, in line with the 2002 City-County MOU for Natomas Basin and efficient provision of local government municipal services. The annexation and future development within the city of Sacramento would support the success of the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan, which we refer to as the HCP, by providing payment of nearly $14 million in HCP fees, in addition to habitat and agricultural lands to be protected in perpetuity where there are currently no such guarantees. A property tax exchange agreement, a TEA, between the county and city is a requirement of annexation among the many hurdles, and the TEA is a difficult one. The county and city TEA agreement is completed. Annexed areas are required to be pre-zoned by the receiving city. The Sacramento City Council has pre-zoned the land proposed for annexation based on its planned and probable use. In closing, we appreciate your consideration of the proposed annexation. City staff members are in attendance this evening and available for any questions you may have for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hodge.
Thank you.
Questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, since this is a public hearing, I believe we have public comments, unless the commission has questions before we get to public comments.
All right. I see we have a number of people listed here.
Correct.
And
Would you like me to call them in threes?
yes, that would be good. Thanks.
Okay, well, I'll call the first three names up. Please forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Would you please make your way to the podium? You have 2 minutes to make your public comment. First, we have John Hershey, Heather Fargo, and Drew Lemaire.
Good evening, Commissioners and Chair Little. My name is John Hershey, and I'm here on behalf of UA Local 447 Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, based here in Sacramento. I would like to also ask that our 447 members stand up, some of whom live in Natomas and would be potentially beneficiaries of this project should it proceed. So while tax and economic benefits for local government and community are well documented, environmental concerns are adequately addressed and have been previously recognized as satisfactory per relevant local authorities. Additionally, as our region grows and is projected to do so, there will be an increasing need for skilled and trained workers. Projects like these provide the support needed for local apprenticeship programs by providing those apprentices with critical on-the-job training required to graduate as skilled and trained journey workers who will be needed for future major projects in the region. Furthermore, the wages paid to our members pay local rents, mortgages, and taxes and contribute to local economic activity with an appreciable amount of purchasing power. Some of our members here tonight are Natomas residents, as I had said, and I'm sure they would also be very thankful. And so on behalf of all of our members at UA Local 447, we ask that you vote in favor of this, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Chair Little and Commissioners and Jose and his staff. My name is Heather Fargo. I am currently the environmental president, or the president of the Environmental Council of Sacramento. I'm a former mayor of the city of Sacramento and was mayor when the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan was approved to help mitigate for the growth of North Natomas. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight in opposition of the Airport South Industrial Project. We strongly recommend that you postpone your decision until after the city has received the incidental take permits that they are required to get per the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan, and that they do not yet have. If you cannot postpone the meeting, we obviously hope that you will vote no. The staff report upon which you are asked to make this decision, we believe, is incomplete and misleading. LAFCo staff is asking you to ignore state law and your own policies, to ignore the significant negative impacts to children and other residents of Natomas, to ignore all the local plans that have been approved in the region, including the City and County General Plan, the Air Quality Plan, the SACOG Blueprint, and the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan. There have been a lot of myths about this project that have been circulated, and we have others that will address some of those myths that your approval seems to be based on, which include that there are no other places for this project to go, that rezoning will bring jobs, that this project will fix the city's budget gap, that this project will be built in the county if the city doesn't approve it, that the project won't hurt the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan, that it is inevitable that this farmland be developed, and that air pollution created by this project is no big deal. Again, we ask you to postpone your decision until after the city has applied for and received, if they are able to, the incidental take permits that are required by law and by the contract they signed, actually that I signed. Remember that one of your major roles as LAFCo is to preserve agricultural land and open space. Obviously, this project doesn't do that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Well timed.
Good evening, commissioners. I'm Jude Lamar. I'm with the environmental community, and I want to just address tonight a couple of myths that this project has come forward with. Does rezoning create jobs? Of course not. Jobs will come to our region because of major economic forces that will bring the jobs to the region that are far outside local control or influence. Jobs will follow those forces whether this land is rezoned or not rezoned. There's plenty of land zoned for industrial and warehouse use within the urban services boundary. This is a major reason why we oppose this annexation. The applicants claim that this site is superior, but before dirt can turn, this site has to have 3 feet of fill over hundreds of acres to bring it up above the floodplain. It has 96 acres of detention basins that have to be excavated to 10 feet. This is major infrastructure change. There is also an agreement with the airport about how to avoid the hazards of the waterfowl that would be attracted to these detention basins and the air pathway out of SMF. So the proponents talk about the assets of the airport location. All those assets are from public money. So we are looking at what public benefits does this project actually offer and what is guaranteed. And we have found this to be far below what is what your staff believes it to be, what you believe it to be. And we prepared a letter and submitted it yesterday to cover the policies which we think this annexation does abrogate, and ask you to vote no on the annexation tonight. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Susan Hare, Jim Pichel, and Luz Lim. Please come to the podium. You have 2 minutes for your public comment. Start your time over. Go ahead.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners and Director. I am Susan Haree with ECOS, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. The map that I'm showing here and have distributed to you, and hopefully you have, shows that there are over 4,000 acres of land in Sacramento County and the city of Sacramento that are currently zoned industrial and identified as vacant. So they meet those two criteria. They're zoned industrial and they're identified as vacant on the county parcel map. You can see clusters of parcels such as those in the northeast corner of the city near McClellan Airfield that are equivalent in size to the land for Airport South. And so if you look on page 3, that becomes clearer. That, if you could blow that up more, that would be great. ma'am. That red cluster exceeds the size of the parcel now for Airport South. Our attorney said in his April 2025 letter on the FEIR for this project that the environmental document failed to include consideration of alternative locations, that is, off-site alternatives that were not owned by the applicant. This violates CEQA. So a question, has LAFCo evaluated this project in light of this availability of land that is vacant and currently zoned industrial, and in light of your goals to preserve agriculture and open space? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jim Patel, please come to the podium. If not, if Luz Lim is available, please come to the podium. Followed by Lloyd Reber and Sean Reese.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Jim Paschal on behalf of Friends of Swenson Hawk. In 2003, the city, Sutter County, Metro Air Park landowners, and the wildlife agencies entered into an agreement that allowed limited development in the Natomas Basin within designated permit areas, totaling 17,500 acres, with the rest of the land for agriculture and habitat mitigation. City's permit area was 8,050 acres within defined boundaries of the city's Natomas Community Plan. The proposed Airport South project is 474 acres. About a quarter of that amount is within the existing Natomas HCP permit area, and consequently it is covered by the HCP's mitigation measures. About 75% of this is outside of the city HCP permit area. For development to proceed outside the HCP, there must be an amendment which sets forth new mitigation measures in an amended incidental take permit issued by the wildlife agencies. The HCP says that prior to approval of any related rezoning, pre-zoning, there must be studies and issuance of incidental take permits by the wildlife agencies to the city for that additional development, which probably would require a good deal more mitigation than what's been offered now. And this must be done before the city pre-zones. Unfortunately, the city reversed the process. They pre-zoned without first obtaining issuance of the
Excuse me, can you wrap up your comments, please?
permits. Solution
Mr.
for the
Pasch?
city's non-compliance would be, as described by Mayor Fargo, would be for LAFCo
Excuse me, Mr. Paschal, will you please wrap up your comments?
Until the ITPs are issued, and then it can go back to LAFCo.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Luz Lim, and I'm the policy staff for ECOS. I, too, will use my time today to discuss one of the myths that has gotten the Airport South industrial project to this point of the approval process, and that is the myth that this project would be approved and built through this in the county, if not through the city. So, why does this myth matter to you as LAFCo and to other deciding bodies involved? It matters because it is part of LAFCo's mission to preserve open space and agricultural resources and to discourage sprawl. Now, if this project were definitely no other choice, written in stone to be approved and built, then I definitely understand the appeal of this project going through the city, as it has the contract with the NBHCP, compared to the county, which has no contractual obligations to support the Natomas Basin Conservancy. However, the scenario falls apart when considering whether or not this project would feasibly operate in the county. We are seeing other development proposals in Sacramento County that are being stalled through the approval process because they don't have a viable water service plan. This project is no different, and the assertion that the county would be able to find water for this project where it has not for others is unsubstantiated. Please don't allow yourself to be strong-armed into betraying LAFCo's mission by nothing more than myths. Each one of you on the commission today has a role in deciding whether this open and agricultural space is paved over and developed. In favor of your mission and the Natomas Basin Conservancy, we ask that you wait until the city has received the incidental take permits from wildlife agencies as required by the NBHCP, or deny the annexation and sprawl of city development for this project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, Chair, Commissioners, members of the public. My name is Lloyd Reber, resident of Sacramento County, and I'm here with the Carpenters Local 46 and the North Coast Carpenters Regional Council. I'm here to ask you to support this project for the workers and the community. I would like to share a little about what the union has provided for me and my family over the years. As an apprentice, I was able to earn a fair wage while learning my trade. This allowed me to be debt-free for my education. Some call it the other four-year degree. Though I graduated from the apprenticeship many years ago, the training and education haven't stopped there. We offer member advancement classes that both benefit members of the job as well as in their communities. Classes such as leadership training, public speaking, and more. We offer multiple safety training courses as well. These lead to safe job sites and safe individuals. I've not only used the safety on the job, but in my home. Earning a fair, livable wage, I have been able to provide for my family on a single income. I've been able to buy a home for my family and hopefully pass on to my daughter one day, as well as save for the future and, God willing, retirement. The medical benefits mean the most to me by far. Having had a daughter with mental health issues, we have had to use them multiple times. We've had many different counseling efforts and multiple hospital stays and ambulance rides, all with the minimum out-of-pocket copay. Sorry. When she spent the last week of her life in the ICU, I didn't have to pay a dime. All thanks to the collective bargaining of my union. This project has made commitment to the community to provide such things as apprenticeship, area standard wages, and medical. So again, my request of you today is to vote to approve this project for the community and for the workers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the Commission. My name is Sean Reese. I'm a field representative for the North Coast States Carpenters, as well as Vice Chair of our Veterans Committee called Valor. I'm here tonight to speak in strong support of the Airport South project, and in particular, the opportunity it creates putting our veterans to work. When men and women step forward to serve our country, they commit themselves to something bigger than their own interests. They learn discipline, leadership, teamwork, and how to perform under pressure. These are exactly the qualities we need in a major infrastructure effort like this one. Supporting this project isn't just about concrete and steel, it's about honoring service with opportunity. Across the country, cities that invest in infrastructure while prioritizing veterans have seen real results. Programs supported by organizational labor consistently emphasize the importance of connecting veterans to skilled trades and long-term careers. The Airport South project gives us a chance to do that right here at home. This project will put veterans to work in well-paying, skilled positions, jobs in construction. These are not temporary dead-end roles. These are meaningful careers that translate military experience into civilian success. Equally important, this investment keeps good jobs in our community for several years. Instead of watching talent leave our city in search of opportunity, we can build that opportunity here. Local hiring means local spending. It means families supported, small businesses strengthened, and a tax base that grows responsibly over time. Supporting the Airport South project is a practical decision and a moral one. It strengthens our infrastructure, grows our economy, and honors the service of those who have already given so much. Let's move forward with a project that builds more than facilities. It builds futures for our veterans and prosperity for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Council. My name is Will McKee. I represent IBW Local 340. Could I have all the trades stand up, actually? Everyone here for the trades? Thank you so much. I've been a member of IBW for 11 years, and I currently teach at our training center. Today, I ask you to support the Airport South Industrial Project. During my time as a union member, I've had the opportunity to work on projects from hospitals to data centers to government office buildings to large industrial jobs in our region. My ability to have a career has made it so my family has never had to worry about whether we have health insurance, whether I can retire when I get to retirement age. I have a job where I can reap the benefits of organized labor, such as fair and equitable working conditions and guaranteed wages. During my time as a training center instructor, I can tell you that these major projects are not only economic drivers for the future sustainability for our city, they are learning environments where our apprentices get the opportunity to learn on state-of-the-art projects that will help define their careers as electricians. They offer the kind of scale and complexity that prepare our apprentices for a lifetime in this trade. I've seen the difference it makes when a student learns something in the classroom and then is immediately able to use that knowledge in the field as a skilled tradesperson. When there's not enough local work, our apprentices sometimes must travel incredibly long distances just to get their hours. This project keeps their talent and that income right here in Sacramento. Please support the Airport South Industrial Project so we can move the process forward and continue to invest in Sacramento. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, good evening. I'm Tyler Kircher. I'm with the IBEW, also Local 340. Today we're asking you to support the Airport South Industrial Project. This project, if approved, represents a critical investment in our region's future. It proposes 400 acres of modern industrial logistics space, a development that is not merely about construction, but about strategically positioning our community for the evolving economic landscape. For IBEW Local 340, the benefits are tangible and immediate. This project guarantees significant work for our skilled electricians, translating to approximately 120 high-quality, family-sustaining jobs over the next 4 years. These are not just numbers, they are local residents, taxpayers, and community members who will directly contribute their wages back into our local economy. This project is precisely the type of forward-thinking industrial space that we need as consumer habits shift increasingly towards delivery-based systems. A logistics center at this location is not a luxury, but a necessity. The location is just outside the urban core, the airport, and a major interstate with the planned charging station for the hauling industry. This project aligns with the logical growth in this northwest corner of Sacramento and supports the growth that has been happening here for the past 5 to 10 years. This project will enable our region to adapt and thrive. It demonstrates a commitment to creating well-paying jobs, fostering economic resilience, and embracing the new logistical demands of our region. We urge the council to support this project, not only for the benefit of our union members, but also for the broader economic development of the entire region. Thank you for your time today.
Good evening, Chair Little and respected LAFCo Commission. My name is Doyle Radford. I am the business manager of Labor's Local 185. We've been proudly building the Sacramento and surrounding communities since 1929. That's an awful long time. Several of our local members are here tonight. I thank them for being away from their families. They see the importance of projects like this. This is how we provide for our families, right? We get up early in the morning before most, and we get ready, we go off there, and we build good, responsible developments like this one. And we haven't changed our stance on it. We were here before you last year. This is a good developer. They build with us. We proudly built those other 3 communities, and they not only build with our local workforce, they do with the other trades, and they use good local contractors as well. And I also grew up in the region, like my friend Mr. Griffin from North Point. I was in Roseville, a small town. And I'll tell you what we've done in this region, we've grown responsibly. If you look outside some of these other communities where they're not growing positively, it's a dying community. We see this development as a responsible development, good growth, and we're here to stand in support of it. And we thank you for your time and consideration.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Matthew Beeston. I'm a representative of the North Coast States Regional Council of Carpenters. I appreciate your time today to give comment on the Airport South Industrial Reorganization. This proposal is about aligning governance, infrastructure, and long-term planning to support efficient, responsible growth in Sacramento County. The detachment from Natomas Fire Protection District, Sacramento County Water Agency Zone 13, and County Service Area 1, and annexation into the City of Sacramento and the Sacramento Area Sewer District creates a unified service structure for the Airport South Industrial Area. By bringing the area into the city, land use authority and municipal services are coordinated under one agency. That reduces fragmentation, improves accountability, and ensures infrastructure planning and development approvals move forward together. Annexation also supports infrastructure readiness. The city and the Sacramento Area Sewer District can provide the urban level utilities and sewer capacity needed to attract employers, generate jobs, and strengthen local tax base. Importantly, the environmental review ensures this growth occurs responsibly, with full evaluation of potential impacts and consistency with state law and regional goals. This reorganization advances LAFCo's core mission: orderly development, efficient service delivery, and avoidance of unnecessary duplication. For these reasons, approval of the environmental review and the Airport South Industrial Reorganization is a practical and forward-looking step for the community. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Commissioners and Chairs. My name is Daniel Barragan. I'm a longtime resident of Natomas. I've seen Natomas grow a lot. Projects like this has given me the opportunity to raise a family in Natomas. Not only that, but create fair wages, be able to afford to have my kids in sports, and do a lot more things that I wouldn't have been able to do if it wasn't for this union. So I really consider you guys for this project. This project looks way better than a plain field. I mean, I live 5 minutes away, and I'm tired of seeing that plain field versus a nice developed area. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Richard Kuna. We'll move on to Mike Hayes. As he's coming, followed by Ralph Proper and James Thurl-Watcher.
Yes, thank you. Michael Hayes. I am a proud former union member, but I have to say that I am actually opposed to this project, and I will tell you why. I have seen in my lifetime the county grow more than double in size and population, and despite that growth and population growth and wealth generation, the end result is that the cost of living has tracked right alongside all the growth we've had. So the growth really has essentially enabled and caused the cost of living to accelerate. I've seen multiple iterations of our road system have to expand to accommodate all the growth. And of course, the taxpayer has to pick up the bill for all this. So I'm opposed to all this urbanization, and just seeing all the costs grow over these decades, it's just going to continue to get worse. The urbanization essentially leads to inflation and more cost to the taxpayer. So that's why rural counties tend to have a very low cost of living and a low tax base, and urbanized counties tend to be very, very expensive. And I would encourage my union members to think forward about this, because there's literally 20,000 homes that are being projected to be built in this area, tacked onto this whole project. And what do you, all these people, that's what, 40, 50,000 more people. You're going to be competing with all these other people for whatever jobs that may or may not be out there. You could have a brand new building, and the company might go bankrupt. So I'm very much opposed to all this growth, because it just leads to more cost for everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes.
Thank you so much.
Ralph Proper.
Hello, Commissioners. Yeah, I'm Ralph Proper, and I serve on the board of Breathe California, Sacramento region. I was an air pollution research specialist at the Air Resources Board and led the effort to identify diesel exhaust as a toxic air contaminant. Diesel exhaust is the #1 cause of cancer from airborne emissions in California. It's also a major source of ultrafine particles, which cause major impacts on children, like increased infections, respiratory, reduced lung function persisting into adulthood, more asthma. And in older folks like me, they also have other problems. Many people live nearby. Premature births and low birth weight babies for pregnant women, high blood pressure, heart disease, dementia, cancer. And just last month, it was conclusively shown that these fine particles hurt the brain and cause Alzheimer's disease. So the proponents suggest a space between Parcel 8 and the elementary school, but we had a national conference in Sacramento that showed that evergreen trees are needed to capture these particles. But the proponents told the city council they can't provide water needed for those trees to grow in that buffer land. The EIR calculates a risk of excess cancer cases caused by the project that's just under the 10 in a million threshold needed for mitigation, but that assumes no development in Parcel 8, which is closest to the school. The EIR also mentions that Parcel 8 could be developed with warehouses and over 100 trucks per day. That would make the health risk skyrocket. So therefore, I suggest you either exclude Parcel 8 from the annexation or call for a subsequent EIR that considers the diesel emissions would result from the development near Parcel 8. Please protect the health of our Natomas neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Little and Commissioners. My name is James Thurwachter, and I'm with the California State Council of Laborers. I'll be very brief. I think my brothers from Local 185 and from the other crafts in the room did a very good job at articulating the critical need for this project that we're discussing today. Briefly, I just want to take a moment for us to commend the developer. You know, this has been a long, exhausting, and arduous process, but time and again, they have demonstrated their commitment to this very community, so thank you. This is going to be a big win for not just the local tax base, but a win for for union members and working families, and a win from the local community and the greater Sacramento region. So thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Is that any more public comments?
Mr. Chair, that concludes our public speakers for item 8.
Do we have any comments from the commissioners? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the request. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Desmond.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to first start out thanking everybody who turned out today. Appreciate the advocates from the environmental community. And I think to myself, I'm also a lifer Sacramentan. Remember when there was virtually nothing out in Natomas. And I think of the advocacy of your community and the mitigation, the results that you have in terms of the mitigation efforts that we see in so many projects. And I thank you for your advocacy. This is not a decision I take lightly. Also want to thank everybody here from the trades. Everything you do for our community is, I'm just honored to have you in the community and appreciate the work you do. Also want to thank the applicant and the developer for a very intentional, thoughtful, very robust engagement, and I appreciate that too. I am, if there are no further comments from commissioners, I am prepared to move approval of staff recommendation. I think that the 4 factors have been addressed appropriately by the reorganization and the environmental document. So I move approval of staff recommendation with the resolution as drafted.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Mr. Plickerbaum.
Okay. Please vote. Your motion passes unanimously, 6-0.
Thank you all. I too want to thank everyone for their comments, both for and opposed. It's good to have this kind of discussion in our community. What's that? Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next item.
Mr. Chair, our next item is item 9, public hearing to consider and approve the final budget for fiscal year 2026-2027.
Do we have any public comment?
We have no more public comment for item 8, and we are waiting for public comment for item 9. We don't have anyone signed up so far for
Okay,
item 9.
thank you.
Oh, okay.
You might as well stick it out. I mean, geez, it's only like, thanks for, hey, send me that link though.
Turn off.
Yeah. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Commissioners Kaplan? Here. Wickard?
Yes, ma'am.
Desmond?
Here.
Pratton?
Here.
Jones? Here. And Chair Little.
Here.
You have a quorum with the members present.
Fantastic. All right, we're on item number 9.
Again, item number 9 is public hearing to consider and approve the final budget for fiscal year 2026-27.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, I'll do a brief overview of the budget. As indicated in the February meeting, you approve a budget on the two-step process. We bring a draft for you to approve as a proposed, and then we bring back the proposed for you to approve as a final. And the budget that's before you is substantially similar to what you received in the February meeting, with the exception that some of the items are adjusted at the request of County of Sacramento staff. They had requested for us to see what we can do about trimming the budget, given that other county departments are facing at least a 2% budget cut. And LAFCo is not a county department. However, we take the comments from our funding agency seriously. I wish I could cut some more, but unfortunately, the reality is that we are expecting some unexpected expenses in the next fiscal year. No offense to council, but we will be needing council services a lot. Some of them can be reimbursed, some of them cannot. We would have to absorb the budget, the cost. So there is a reduction in the agency contributions. Instead of 7% as presented in February, it's going to be 6%. I cut what I could, but I'm trying to be extremely conservative. There's really no fat in this budget at all. I run my agencies lean, and every cent is accounted for. And unfortunately, the budget is still 1.2 million. Now that's instead of 1.218, now it's 1.209. But essentially, the costs were driven substantially by not just pension, but also salaries and, of course, health benefits, which just skyrocketed over the last year, as you know. Operating costs, we're expecting to have some one-time expenses relating to a potential move of the LAFCo offices, and again, the aforementioned legal expenses. So with that, I'll happy to answer any questions you may have about the budget.
Seeing none? No?
I will open and close the public hearing for the budget.
Thank you.
Got a second?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
So it was moved by Kaplan, Commissioner Kaplan, and second by Commissioner Desmond?
Correct.
Okay. Please vote. Your motion passes unanimously with 6-0.
Okay, next item, please.
Mr. Chair, your next item is update on the LAFCo 2026 Special Corporate Business Meeting held on February 23rd, 2026, presented by Executive Officer Jose Henriquez.
Mr. Chair, this is just an update to the discussion that you had at the February 4th meeting relating to the LAFCo special business meeting. If you recall, there were a few bylaw changes to the LAFCo bylaws that needed to be approved by the membership. A meeting was held last Monday, and the recommended changes were approved by the membership 40 LAFCos to 2 no's. For the most part, the controversial issues seem to be the opening up of the making executive officers eligible for to serve on the board. That generated a lot of discussions, but ultimately, again, the amendments were passed 40 to 2, and we'll proceed forward. All current members of the board of directors will be up for election in October. So, Commissioner Jones, you're even though you just got reelected, you will be running for that seat again if you so choose. That's it. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the meeting.
Seeing none, we'll go on to the next item.
We do not have any public comment for this item as well. Item number 11 is report on the selection of public member to LAFCo.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, specifically, Mr. Chair, your term is up at the end of this calendar year. So we will begin the process of deciding what to do. The last time you were appointed back to a new 4-year term back in 2022. It's up to the commission to determine how it wants to proceed. This is not an item for you to discuss or take a position on at all at this one. I wanted to move that discussion to April, given the Airport South Industrial project being considered on this agenda, and I wanted to keep it light. So this will be for further discussion next commission meeting, and we will be bringing all the relevant policies that relates to the selection of the public member. And this also goes. This is same goes for alternate public member Tim Murphy.
Okay. All right. Thank you. No public comment, correct?
We have no public comment. Item number 12 is Executive Officer Commission Council, the Astro Street and Correspondence. Jose Henriquez.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, I'll bring up just the Astro sheet and speak to the correspondence that we received. But the Astro sheet, it's been updated. You will note that there's been several projects that we are processing. Sac Sewer has submitted their application to annex the communities of Hood and Franklin. This was as part of your approval for extending services by contract to those areas. They had to come back with an actual annexation proposal, so they've launched it. They hope to come before the commission in May. I've told them that date has now moved because I anticipated them to initiate the project in January, but since they've now started it essentially in March, those dates will be moved. But it will be coming to you later this year. The MSRs for Sac Metro are proceeding on time. Same thing with the Elma Chimney Hartnell Water District. The Florin County County Water District will be considered in the adoption of that MSR will be considered at the May meeting, and then we also will have the Florin Resource Conservation District detachment, which actually is going to end up being a reorganization. The district has now subsequently requested to be turned into a county water district, which is more in alignment with the services that they actually provide. Several MSRs have also been added to your ASTRA sheet, and hopefully those will be coming in on a steady basis from here on out. I want to say that there was another project. Yeah, we did receive another project, a potential project that's coming in as well, one relating to the city of Folsom, and it's actually a correction of a boundary issue. Apparently, there's a little notch that is not part of the Sac Sewer service area. It's in their sphere, but not in the Sac Sewer. I have no idea whether that's a map glitch or there's actually an issue that needs to be fixed. So we're in the process of researching that. Actually, the other project that I was thinking of was the Sac Sewer annexation of Hood and Franklin. But we're pretty busy at the staff level. Second, for correspondence, we have the Department of Finance annual investment policy memo. That's their annual notification about the performance of their funds, that's where LAFCo's funds are deposited at the moment. And in terms of also what's on the horizon, the Personnel Ad Hoc Committee will be meeting on March 19th to discuss various issues that may come back to the Commission later on at a subsequent agenda. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
You're very busy.
It is a lot.
You're very busy. No public comment.
We have no public comments.
Commission.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was like, you're ready for item 13.
I am, yes. Commission Chair, Commissioners, anyone have comments? I have only one comment myself, and that's to welcome once again Bob Wickert to the Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. We move into a closed session in hearing room 1 up over there.
Yes.